Chair now recognizes Ms. McClain from Michigan for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And before I start with my line of questioning, I just want to make two comments. First, to Professor Gerhardt, I love the analogy that you used about the speeding ticket with Hunter Biden. Let me also see if you would agree with this analogy. If a criminal pulls a trigger for a murder, he's guilty, right? And we can prove it. But don't you also agree with me if somebody ordered that hit, we would charge him too? It's interesting that you don't use that analogy. That's number one. Number
I have
two,
a reason for not using it, but yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't fit the narrative is the reason.
No, because
number
there's no
two, I'm
evidence
amazed at, and I love the fact that Trump lives rent-free in the Democrats' heads every day. That is a beautiful thing, even though we're here talking about the impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden. With that said, I want to talk about the damning evidence of Joe Biden's role in his family's business schemes in Romania. While Joe Biden was president, he was directly involved in the United States policy and anti-corruption efforts in Romania. That's a fact. On May 21st, 2014, the then Vice President Biden delivered an anti-corruption speech in Romania, right? On September 28th, 2015, the president visited with the then Vice President Biden, the Romanian president visited with the then Vice President Biden at the White House to discuss anti-corruption efforts, right? Got a theme of corruption, anti-corruption, right? Gabriel Popovich, a corrupt Romanian oligarch, is the subject of a criminal probe. He's a subject of a criminal probe and prosecution for corruption and bribery in Romania. This committee has reviewed transactions showing that the Biden family received money from a foreign company run by this Russian oligarch, corrupt Gabriel Popovich. 5 weeks after the Romanian president visited with Vice President Biden, Popovich begins paying Hunter Biden and his associates, Rob Walker, through his company, Bladen Enterprises. The money from Bladen Enterprises is deposited directly into Robinson Walker LLC. Now, this LLC is directly operated by Hunter's known business partner, Rob Walker. These are all facts, right, that we found through the investigation. In November 2015 and again in March 2016, Hunter Biden, who is not registered as a foreign agent under FARA, meets with the U.S. ambassador to Romania. Red flag. Then, coincidentally, over $1 million flows to the Bidens. I'm not much for coincidences, and I don't think the American people are either. Let's run through the numbers together. Between November 2015 and May 2017, Bladen Enterprises deposited over $3 million into Robinson Walker's LLC business account. But then the Biden family accounts received more than $1 million from Robinson Walker's accounts after these deposits were made. Ironically, 16 of those 17 payments occurred while Joe Biden was vice president. Now, I think most Americans would find it suspicious that, ironically, these payments ended shortly after Joe Biden left office. Another coincidence. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record the Oversight Committee's May 10, 2023 Second Bank Records Memorandum showing Joe Biden's involvement in his family's business schemes in Romania.
Without objection, so ordered.
I see three problems here. One, while Joe Biden is touting anti-corruption efforts in Romania, Hunter Biden is employed by a corrupt Romanian oligarch. Interesting. In direct violation of FARA, Hunter Biden meets with the U.S. ambassador to Romania while being paid by Gabriel Popovich. What was Hunter Biden selling to the Romanian oligarchs for millions of dollars? I'd still like to see a contract of that. Professor Turley, I know I'm almost out of time, but you've previously said that Hunter Biden could be charged under the Foreign Agent Registration Act. Can you explain why?
Gentlelady's time's expired, but please feel free to answer the question, Mr. Turley.
Much of the conduct described in these disclosures does seem to fit what we saw with the charges of Paul Manafort in terms of being a foreign agent. Some of this does appear to be that type of lobbying on the part of Hunter Biden. The failure to register as an agent, of course, helped conceal that, but that's not necessarily the motivation behind it. The question is, should he have registered as a foreign agent during the course of this conduct? And it just seems to me, looking at the Paul Manafort indictment, that there's considerable overlap in terms of the type of actions taken.
Perhaps there's a two-tier justice system. With
Mr.
that,
Chairman,
I yield back.
May I ask unanimous consent to enter Ms. McClain's chart into the record?
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you.
Chair now